163, and 164. Yep, that confirms it. This game will have an incredible starting roster.
You've been looking at that trailer ever since it came out. What's the fuss about?
Aren't you a clone of me? You should know why this is a big deal.
Well, I do have a recollection of you enjoying Budokai Tenkaichi, but so what?
This is why you're the clone and I'm the real deal. Do you know how crazy 164 characters are?
You know what? Enlighten me.
You didn't have to say anything. I was gonna do that anyways. So tell me, why aren't you hyped?
Well, Xenoverse 2 exists, so what if there's a bunch of characters in a Dragon Ball game?
Seems like you forgot what it's like to play Budokai Tenkaichi. Look, the PS2 is right there, so play some Budokai Tenkaichi on it for a bit and tell me how it goes.
Oh man, how foolish of me. This game series existed and I was downplaying it like that? I see the hype now, and there are going to be 164 characters? Who do you think they're gonna add, Eeb? Eeb!
Huh? What? Oh, you're finished playing.
Yeah, I asked you what characters you think will be included in this game.
Well, get off my seat. I need a chair to explain better.
Seriously, I have to sit on the floor again? Fine.
So we already know that there will be 164 characters in this game. We also know 40 of those characters and the fact that they will bring Dragon Ball Super characters. So I did my best to see who will be returning from the last game and who will be new. That sounds fair enough. There will also be no Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball GT characters. I see.
Wait, what? I hate to break it to you, but when I was making that list, I couldn't find any space to fit any character from those two series.
Well, that just makes your list wrong then.
That may be so, but wait until I tell you the list before you get a conclusion like that.
Fine.
Listen, I'm not a huge fan of giving long lists for predictions, but I don't really have a choice here. So I'll just give some reasons for why I chose certain characters and whatnot.
Fair enough.
But before I do that, we need to look at who was already confirmed.
And thanks to the Japanese website, we actually know that there will be the various time periods for certain characters. So like Goku Mid and whatnot. Interesting. Well, get to it already. So from the past trailers, we know that Goku early, Goku mid with Super Saiyan, Goku end with Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3, Vegeta Scouter with Great Ape, Vegeta with Super Saiyan and Super Vegeta, Vegeta end with Super Saiyan 1, 2, and Majin, Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, Trunks fighting Super Saiyan, Trunks Sword Super Saiyan, Piccolo, Mr. Satan, Android 18, Perfect Cell, and Majin Buu are all included from the Dragon Ball Z side. But that was only 26 characters. Well, yes, but there were also 14 Dragon Ball Super characters confirmed. And they are Goku Super with Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue, Vegeta Super with the same transformations, Broly with Super Saiyan, Frieza Super, Android 17 Super, Jiren, and Bergamo. Hey, why are Android 17 and Frieza both listed as Super while Broly isn't? And why are there no other Super Saiyan forms for Goku and Vegeta from Super? Good job on noticing that. I was going off how the characters are listed in the Japanese website. That's why even though Trunks Sword was wearing the Dragon Ball Super outfit, he wasn't listed as Super. So maybe that confirms costumes, but take it with a grain of salt. As for Broly, I'll get there in a bit. And for the Super Saiyan forms, do you really want to make more slots for forms that weren't very notable in Dragon Ball Super?
Good point, I'll let you cook. But now that you went over all the confirmed characters, go ahead and give me your list of the characters you're predicting.
I was already gonna do that, but sure.
So starting with Z, I think that Chaozu, Kid Gohan with Great Ape, Raditz, Nappa, Cyberman, Bardock with Super Saiyan, King Vegeta, Kui, Dodoria, Zarbon with his transformation, the Ginyu Force, Frieza from Z with all his transformations including 100% and Mecha Frieza, King Cold, Piccolo fused with Kami, Base Trunks Sword with Super Saiyan 2, Trunks fighting with Base and his buff Super Saiyan form, Teen Gohan with both Super Saiyan forms, Future Gohan with Super Saiyan, Android 16, 17, and 19, 13, Dr. Gero, the rest of Cell's forms, Cell Jr., Goten with Super Saiyan, Kid Trunks with Super Saiyan, Gotenks with both Super Saiyan forms, Adult Gohan with all his Super Saiyan forms, Great Saiyaman and Ultimate Gohan, Videl, Pikkon, Supreme Kai with his fusion, Dabura, Evil Boo, Super Boo with his absorptions, and Kid Boo will be included.
Now I know you want to interrupt me, but let me explain.
First of all, I'll go over the movie characters in a bit. Second of all, Vegito isn't here yet because it complicates things with Super, so he'll be in that list. Third, I know Bardock shouldn't have his Super Saiyan form since that isn't canon, and I agree, but at the same time I don't. Do you really want that as some DLC or something? Fourth, I have mainly included characters that would make sense for story reasons. So a Cyberman is actually important to the story because it kills Yamcha. Fifth, I included Piccolo fused with Kami because it would make more sense if he had different movesets for the early sagas and the later sagas. And finally, for all the Nail fans, I'm sorry, but even though he is somewhat important to the story, I can't really imagine a moveset other than a basic one just like in Budokai Tenkaichi 3. That's another thing. I did my best to include characters who would have a pretty unique moveset than a bunch of energy blasts or whatever.
Do you have any questions? No. Good, now let me move on to the movie characters.
Currently we're at 105 characters, believe it or not, but it's not surprising given that Z has a bunch of characters. So the movie and special characters from Dragon Ball Z will possibly be Garlic Jr. with his transformation, Dr. Wheelo, Turles, Lord Slug with his giant form, Cooler with his final form, Meta Cooler, Android 13 with his transformation, Broly Z with his 2 Super Saiyan forms, Bojack with his transformation, Janemba with his transformation, Tapion, Hirudegan, Hachiyak, and Tarbo will be coming to this game. If you've noticed, all these characters were in a past Dragon Ball game from Spike. Also, I made the Z Broly called Broly Z because that's probably what they will do to distinguish canon and non-canon characters. Maybe. Man, I wanted Cells or even Android 15, but I guess nobody cares about them. Well, they aren't really important of a character, but it would have been fun to see them return. Sadly, I need to sacrifice them for this next list. There are now 127 characters, so for the Dragon Ball Super characters, I think that Frieza Super Gold, Whis, Beerus, Gogeta with Super Saiyan 1 and Blue, Vegito with Super Saiyan 1 and Blue, Kaba with Super Saiyan 1 and 2, Hit, Frost but only final form, Goku Black with Super Saiyan Rose, Zamasu, Fuse Zamasu with his corrupted form, Caulifla with Super Saiyan 1 and 2, Kale with Super Saiyan and full power Super Saiyan, Kefla with Super Saiyan, Lavender, Basil, Dispo, Toppo with his God of Destruction form, Ribrianne with her transformation, Agnilasa, Goku Mastered Ultra Instinct, and Vegeta Super Saiyan Blue Evolved will be included.
That does make 164 characters. So there really won't be any GT or Dragon Ball characters? Wait, you still have to explain yourself. Well, this list was shorter because Super didn't introduce many characters, but sure, I'll explain.
You're probably wondering why I included certain characters, and if you've noticed, the Budokai Tenkaichi series has mainly gone along with the anime over the manga. So with that, most major fights that happen in the anime happen differently in the manga. So I thought that I should include characters that have notable fights in the anime than in the manga. So that's why Lavender and Basil were included. They had some pretty notable fights in the anime. I thought it would be interesting if there was a giant from Super, so I included Agnilasa. I chose to include only one version of Ultra Instinct Goku because what would you even do for two different versions of Ultra Instinct in terms of moveset? Aren't they practically the same? And I'm mainly going off of the anime for this. There are no Dragon Ball Super superhero characters because that movie came out fairly recently, so that will probably be in some sort of DLC. And even though Master Roshi was pretty decently important in Dragon Ball Super, I didn't think it would be right to include him only because he would be a lot more fitting with the Dragon Ball cast.
Pretty solid prediction, but it doesn't have my favorite character, so I'm gonna just say this is the worst prediction ever. You're starting to sound like the people on the internet right now. Oh, I know, I was just joking. Well, whatever, that's my list. I really do want Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball GT characters, but if 164 characters is really the base roster, then I don't see that happening. Well, there's always DLC. If there's DLC, you know I'm right here ready to predict it. Hey, can I help with that? Sure. Anyways, let's play some Budokai Tenkaichi. All this predicting makes me want to play it. You're on!